So yeah, Bullet Train was a lot of fun. Then I followed it up with back-to-back viewings of Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. And I got to say, for movies that one is spun off from the other, they couldn't be more different.
I've seen Top Gun 1. I had zero interest in seeing Maverick. And everyone's like, oh, Maverick, it's such a good movie. It's even better than the original. I'm like, well, that can't be hard to do because the original sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the original is not a good movie.
The original, I have not seen Top Gun since...
It's to sell Tom Cruise and soundtracks. That's
I have
all
not
that is.
seen Top Gun since the 80s when it was on HBO or wherever. I've never seen it since. So it's been so many years removed from me. So when I went to watch it, I didn't remember a thing. So this was like a brand new watching for me. The movie's not good. I don't know how it's such a big dude bro movie unless you grew up in the 80s. Like if you were a teenager or in your 20s that you may enjoy this because you didn't know any better. But
is it a dude bro movie?
It's
pretty gay.
It's a dude bro. For that time, it was a dude bro movie, and it became a dude bro movie going forward. Now you look at it and you're like, wow, this is very gay. But back then was what it was. So the dialogue when they're trying to do their action sequences or their catchphrases is terrible.
Yeah.
The movie has a great soundtrack. The soundtrack's fantastic.
Yeah, the soundtrack's great.
But,
I mean, like, it comes from that 80s time of Kenny Loggins and just soundtracks that are just banging. Just killer soundtracks.
Yeah, when you hear
movies,
the Top Gun theme kick in, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then later on, when Danger Zone hits, you're like, okay, yeah. But then when you're dragged back down to partying with the boys for the volleyball scene, you're like, they all have to do their shirtless high five together where they're like up five, low five, like behind each other. Each time they got to do the double slap. Gittles brought up something. I was telling him that I saw this movie and I didn't like it. And Gittles brought up something before I could even, and I was just about to tell him, before he could even say it. And he goes, everybody is so sweaty in that movie. And they are. Almost every scene,
dripping water.
Every scene in the conference room when they're finding out about that they're going to have to go on this mission. When they're first all together in the room, they're all sweating. There's a scene where I guess he comes out of the shower and he's going into an elevator with Kelly McGillis, and they're talking. He's covered in water, right? He just got out of the shower and he's still soaked. And then some kind of high brass person comes into the elevator and he's facing what would be the doors, and they're in the back there, right? And it cuts to her looking at him, and then it cuts to him looking at her, and he's covered in sweat, right? Then it cuts back to the elevator door opening, and the brass is walking out, and he's looking this way, which would be right at the camera. No sweat on him at all. Nothing. And then it cuts back to him again, and he's drenched again. And the sweat's not even in the right spot. It's like a fourth take that they put in there. The
guy at the end, like, I forgot the actor's name, but I think he was also in Independence Day. The guy who was always just like, get on the horn or show us how to get these guys down. Like, him at the end, like, you could see the bead of sweat is like an inch off his face. And he's just like smoking, and he's just like dripping. It's so gross. And like, I just Googled it to see if I could find a clip. And I just typed in Top Gun sweaty, and the first link that came up just said, is Top Gun the sweatiest movie of all time?
Oh, okay.
Like, no joke. It's just like people are just covered in water.
Well, you're not talking about the guy who was the principal in Back to the Future. You're not talking about the bald guy, right?
The guy who had like I don't know the actor's name, but he's in a lot of stuff. He always plays like a hard guy. He's always like that kind of face.
And you think he was Independence Day?
I think he was in Independence.
Well, there's Michael Ironside. He was one of the.
It wasn't Michael Ironside.
Okay, because he was in Total Recall.
Yeah, no. Hold on, I'm pulling up the cast right here.
I'm looking at it too. It wasn't Tim Rom, Tom Skerritt.
No, it wasn't Michael Ironside. It was not Tom.
James
Skerritt.
Tolkien was the principal from Back to the Future.
It was the other military guy. What the fuck is his name?
I don't know. I named all the military guys that I remembered.
He was like on the radar at the very end,
was this the one who gets his coffee spilt on him every time he buzzes the tower?
I think so.
Yeah,
I just don't know his name. But yeah, he was like literally just dripping so much sweat at the end of the movie. It was gross.
Yeah, they were every scene, like he finishes the volleyball game, hops on the motorcycle, goes to her house. He's like, I need to take a shower. She's like, nope, you're late. We're going to dinner. He's going to dinner and he has to take a shower and he's sweating at the restaurant. And then, it's every scene they're sweating in this movie.
They're just sweating. They're just covered in sweat.
And then
Constantly
they kind of, I don't know if it's a callback or if just they wanted to do it, but they did it again in a few scenes in Maverick. Not as much. A lot of the scenes they're not. But there's like one or two scenes where they're all constantly sweating. I'm like, are they bringing that back to the original movie? But anyway, the first movie, just, it's a piece of crap.
It's not good.
It's not a good movie. Second movie does a lot of flashbacks to the first movie. They're tying up a lot of ends and resolving storylines. So if you haven't seen the
Goose's kid mad at Tom Cruise and he's going to get revenge?
Not revenge.
Oh, really?
Just mad at Tom Cruise. They're working together. But you see the storylines. They do a nice ending for Val Kilmer's Iceman character because he can't talk because of throat cancer in real life. So they explained it in the movie, and then they gave him a nice send-off. And not a lot of sweat in this movie. But I'll say the action sequences were really good. They made those planes special for the stunts where they had the cameras in there so you could see Tom Cruise. You see all the cast flying up in there. Really well done. The maneuvering, everything. I kind of wish I saw it in the theater now. I had no desire to go see it in the theater, but now I kind of wish I did.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this fucking guy's name, and I just can't. Because everyone has stupid names in this movie. Look at these names. Jester, Viper, Cougar, Wolfman, Slider, Merlin, Sundown, Hollywood, Stinger.
Because it was cool to have a call sign, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know any of these people's names. Maybe it was Air Boss Johnson.
Oh, what a surprise. Rob's has a problem here. It says, cool guys doing cool guy stuff, sweat. You wouldn't know that because you're dorks, right? Sorry, that was jack-off material. I wouldn't know that, dude.
I'm not a cool guy. I don't sweat.
Yeah, I know. The rest of us were living our lives watching USA Up All Night, and he's watching fucking Top Gun and other movies where there's shirtless men going around for no reason. Iron Eagle. I think I saw the first one, then I found out there's 3 of them.
There's a lot.
I don't know if I want to go back and watch the Iron Eagle franchise. I don't know if I care enough.
I don't think it's necessary.
No.